Like, for example, John Mbadi. He's got a good brain. He's been a very good, avid debater in the House.
So
but I can tell you...
What do you think then of his chances at Treasury? Will he solve the problems that
No, he cannot.
You have?
He cannot. He cannot. They are too deep. In fact, I'm watching him. Next week, he's supposed to sign his first actual statements of revenue and expenditure. Gazette notice by the 16th. If he signs that notice, that Gazette notice, and he accepts something called odious debt, he has fallen into the trap. If I were him, I would be very careful what the Treasury officials ask him to sign. Very careful. If they even tell him this is normal, they are lying to him. It's a criminal enterprise, that Treasury. It is fraught with unconstitutionality and criminality, so entrenched and so deep and so far-reaching. I can tell you, Yvonne, if there was anyone to fear, forget William Ruto. The fear is, what are those forces that have taken trillions from us and still are? Who are those forces? Those are the ones you should be saying I should be fearing, because it's a criminal mafia beyond your imagination that has made sure we are an enslaved nation and will be for many years to come unless we solve this problem now.
And what is this problem now?
I'll tell you. It is fraught in unconstitutionality.
That was the final warning from Jimmy Wanjigi as John Mbadi takes over as the new CS in the Ministry of Treasury. Ladies and gentlemen, as the new cabinet secretaries take over from the former, they are under pressure because Raila Amolo Odinga described the 4 cabinet secretaries that he gave to William Ruto, Joho, Oparanya, Mbadi, and Opiyo Wandayi, as experts and technocrats who are going to help William Ruto in a government and a cabinet that they said had failed. And Raila says he told William Ruto as much, that was one of the conditions or reasons why Gen Zs went to the street. But even as they take over, one person who is under intense pressure is John Mbadi, because he's taking over a docket that has got a lot of mess and rot in it. Jimmy Wanjigi describes it as a den of hidden and deeply cut, secrets. And very many people know that the biggest problem that we have in Kenya today is the IMF. The Bretton Woods institutions have always dictated what we are doing. And the reason why this warning came at the right time, John Mbadi met the IMF representative to Kenya just a week after taking over. He is telling us on his X handle, the IMF continues to play a crucial role in supporting Kenya's economic stability and development. And ladies and gentlemen, that is the big catch. This has really caught the attention of many because we agree that IMF has been our financial partner. They give us loans. But it is on that very basis that Kenyans are crying, because one of the reasons why Kenyans went to the streets, the Gen Z-led protest, is because William Ruto listened so much to IMF. They give us loans after scrutiny and they give us conditions. It is on record that it is IMF that forced Ruto to raise taxes in the Finance Bill 2023 and Finance Bill 2024 that made the VAT on fuel rise from 8 to 16%. And it is the same IMF that forced William Ruto to remove the subsidies on fuel, on electricity, on maize flour. So when John Mbadi went into that office as a technocrat, many people felt that you need to take your own course. And I remember Wycliffe Ambetsa Oparanya saying that as he goes into the new ministry, he does not want to be dictated. He wants to be left alone to work. People are wondering, the IMF boss has visited John Mbadi. What was discussed? What were they discussing? As Jimmy Wanjigi puts it, John Mbadi will soon realize that his role will be sign here, sign there. His role will be to rubber stamp what is happening. Because the IMF had an agreement with the government of Kenya. And it is the government of Kenya that John Mbadi is working for. And William Ruto knew very well the catch. After a lot of noise, he decided to pick Raila's team into those very sensitive dockets that people are talking about. Now, Mbadi has cast himself into this net and he has been trapped. I want you to listen to the former CS telling Mbadi and telling Kenyans that one of the mess that we ever got into was that we took this narrative that overtaxation can help a country. And he's saying that far from it, it is the opposite. And this is one of the things that John Mbadi is going to grapple with. Listen to Njuguna Ndung'u.
This notion that high tax rates will raise high tax revenue. The reality is the opposite. I don't want to mention who drives us there, but there are so many colleagues here to tell you exactly what we need to do. So because high taxes cannot bring you high tax revenue, what do we need to do? We need to study how we can optimize each tax instrument.
I know many people are asking why Njuguna Ndung'u could not speak while he was in charge of that docket. And why he didn't resign, because, you know, he talked about a lot. He was telling us about the mess in that docket. Some unscrupulous businessmen are working, and there are fake retirees who are being paid in the pension scheme. There are fake schools that are being given some money. And he was talking about that mess. And that is where John Mbadi would be starting from. Will he fight that cartel? That is the question that many are asking. And the other thing that John Mbadi has to grapple with is a state capture. He's going into that docket when we have state capture. Njuguna Ndung'u is telling us and revealing the rot in that docket. While he was there, he could not speak because they are under an oath as a cabinet to ensure that they keep their secrets. They passed the resolution and he could not speak. So as John Mbadi goes there, will he act the opposite? Because as we speak, William Ruto himself is in charge and he signed a deal. And you've heard Jim Wanjigi saying that the people we should fear are not even William Ruto. We must fear the people who have been taking a lot of money. And this is IMF. Njuguna Ndung'u is saying he is not going to reveal who is advocating for high taxes. But we know it is William Ruto and the IMF. And so, ladies and gentlemen, Mbadi goes there. Will he change something that has been signed? And it is our fear that even as he gets into that docket, when they met together with the IMF boss called Karir, we fear that he went there to take instructions. Because as a CS, he's not going to change what has been signed. Remember, the Gen Zs wanted to visit IMF offices, and it brought a lot of fear. So he gets into a docket that is rotten, fake employees, fake schools, fake retirees. He's getting into a docket that is being controlled. We are just a puppet being controlled from the USA. And he's getting into a docket that is full of state capture. He has to dance to Ruto tune. And I wonder what Mbadi is going to do, because one, he has already indicated that he wants to reintroduce the Finance Bill 2024. He's saying there were several articles that were good. Now, look at that paradigm shift. When they were in the Azimio said that bill was to be, the Finance Bill 2024 was to be rejected in totality. Now, Mbadi has changed and is saying we need to look at those articles that are good for us. And this is why I'm telling you that William Ruto is a very happy man. What he has done, he has shifted the blame, the burden to Raila, to Raila's people. When things are messed up, he's going to say, now you see, everyone is the same. And I believe that all these people are the same. In fact, I don't know what John Mbadi is going to do. We wait and see how things are going to transpire. But if you ask me, it's the same thing. As long as we are still being controlled by IMF, as long as we are still puppets, as long as there is a document that we signed, there's not going to be change in litmus paper. In fact, I suspect William Ruto might even introduce the Finance Bill 2024 because it will now be supported by ODM and the group because it's now safe. That is why he's on top of his vehicles now campaigning. He knows he has crushed the Gen Zs because he feels very safe with Raila. I don't know what you think, but that's my take.